Media.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. My name is Ricky Trebergi here in Solana, Kansas, as always. And joining me is Derek Rutherford down there in Phoenix. How's it going, Derek?
Pretty good. I'm trying to fix Reddit so we can be on the screen at the same time as the show. So I'm working on that right now. I should have did it before the show, but I didn't. How are you doing?
Not too bad. I've been trying to keep up on stuff on the news and stuff. And so over the weekend, it was a pretty rocky weekend as far as shootings around the country. Had one up in Philly, one down there in Phoenix, and I can't remember where the third one was now. But
see, there was one in my city, and I didn't even know about it. That's how much I
it was at one of the malls. It was one of the malls.
The world out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm bracing for another thunderstorm tonight and stuff like that. And see how that goes. It's going to be a bumpy night. We're under a flood warning and everything. So It's not doing anything at the moment, but it's coming.
Right. So, well, that's scary, that there's anytime you're in the middle of Kansas and there's a thunderstorm brewing, there's always at least a tiny chance of a tornado. So you got to be careful, Rick.
I'm looking at the radar, and the storm cells are coming down out of Nebraska.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Well, we're going to cover some cases tonight, obviously, but it sounds like there was an arrest in the Brooklyn case.
Yeah. Let me pull that article real quick here. I forgot to pull that one. I got the other one, but I didn't get that one. Yeah, they arrested. I remember seeing an update probably almost a week ago, and it said that they had identified the suspect and they knew who he was almost immediately after the accident happened, but they didn't reveal his name because they were afraid that he was going to probably try to go south back to Mexico. So they didn't reveal his name so they could get him arrested. But his name's Jose Alfredo. I'm going to say it's Galeano Mesa. He's 28 of Overland Park. I forgot to silence that dumb thing. He was arrested in Martinsville, Indiana by U.S. Marshals and the Indiana State Troopers. He was a suspect who allegedly killed 10-year-old Brooklyn Brohart of Eudora in a fatal motorcycle crash. He also injured her grandfather. He was the one driving the motorcycle, and she was riding on the back of it. He sustained life injuries. So yeah, they did arrest him and have him. They were working on extraditing him back to Kansas City or to Lawrence to face charges. So, arrest made in that case.
Wow.
Case as well.
For those of you listening, Ricky's mic sounds awful because there's a storm in Salina right now.
On his motorcycle.
Yeah, your mic's pretty rough.
It's headed this way. It's not here yet. Somebody's saying I wonder why. That's crazy. Maybe if I close KMBC. I'm just saying we close it.
Yes. Whoops. Close the internet.
Yeah, I closed that one.
Okay. So yeah, I'm glad there's been an arrest made. And that was a long time. That was he was on the run for a while,
Sorry about my dog there.
Right.
I don't know what he's barking for.
Well, I'm glad there was an arrest made. Hopefully there can be some justice for that. And again, we were kind of talking before the show, like what an appropriate age for a 10-year-old girl to be on the back of a motorcycle in like a city setting would be. It's kind of up to the parents, I guess. And really, I don't think there's anything wrong with motorcycles. I think they're safe.
I used to ride on the back of my uncles all the time when I was a kid, and I'm still here. I mean,
right.
It's like we were talking, like you said before the show, we're talking. It's like I tell my daughters all the time, when I've been teaching my younger one how to drive, my older one not quite yet because I was explaining it with her intellectual disabilities and stuff, and the fact that she gets easily agitated and upset very easily. That I haven't started yet. Okay, that it's not your driving you so much have to worry about. It's everybody else around you that you got to worry about.
Right. Yeah. My My wife, she had an ex-boyfriend in the Wichita area who passed away a few weeks ago. He was injured. He was killed in a motorcycle wreck. He was riding a motorcycle. So you never know. Another
Yeah.
beloved Wichita guy, music promoter, a year ago,
Oh, I
passed
remember that
away.
case. I know which case you're talking about. Yeah, I remember which one you're
So
talking about. Down there in
it
Wichita. Yeah.
happens. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
and
got to be careful.
a friend of mine's great niece just died in a motorcycle wreck down in Texas too.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to watch out for the bikes.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere. I
They
mean,
don't have much protection.
be considerate when you're out there on the road and watch for those guys and gals because I
Right.
mean, they're just as important on the road as you guys are. So I mean, watch them careful.
Roxanne Fisher Jackson is here. We got Andrea Lynn. She's been killing it in school. I follow her on Facebook. She's been taking a lot of classes.
Cool.
Esther Unruh's here. Christopher Unruh.
Yep, I talked to Christopher earlier today. It was good talking to you a little bit on Messenger, Christopher.
And then Desiree says, sounds fine to me. Trisha's here over in YouTube. Ellen Dotson here from Leavenworth. And 15 people watching over on Reddit. No comments yet, but I will keep you all
Sweet.
posted as best as I can.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and cover some cases. We'll be
right.
right back after this. You're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast.
Leaving an abusive relationship is a highly personal, individual decision, but all survivors benefit from having trusted people during this time. Since those experiencing abuse are often isolated by their abusers, it's important to know how you can support survivors on their path to finding safety. If you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, please reach out to the hotline at 1-800-799-7233. Again, that's 1-800-799-7233.
All right. And we're going to start with Alex Perez, as we like to keep his face out there and his case going so people don't forget about Alex. Missing from Ulysses, Kansas since December 1st of 2020. He was 35 when he went missing. He's now 36. He's 5'11", weighs 235 pounds. He has black hair that he shaves nearly bald and brown eyes. He had called a family member on the phone December 1st and said he'd be coming to their home to wash laundry, and he'd never arrived at that family member's home, and that was in Ulysses. Alexander has not been heard from or seen by family or friends since that date. He has been staying with family and friends prior to his disappearance. It is believed that he may still be in the local Ulysses area, or he may be in the Garden City, Kansas, the surrounding areas. Of course, we've all heard the rumors, but we don't like to deal in rumors. We like to deal in fact. But anyway, at the time of his disappearance, he was 35. He's now 36. He's 5'11", weighs 235 pounds, has black hair that he shaves nearly bald and brown eyes. He has a tattoo of a bumblebee on his face underneath his left eye. He has Perez tattooed on one of his arms. He has a tattoo of a cross on a chain across his chest. If you have any information regarding Alexander's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Grant County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-356-3500 or the Ulysses, Kansas Police Department at 620-356-4600 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get Alex located and back home to his family where he needs to be.
Susan Smith is watching from the Hugoton area. She says we have a strong storm coming through Hugoton right now. We will see how long I can stay online for the show.
Uh-oh.
Sounds about par for the course in the state of Kansas tonight.
Yeah. It lasts several days, actually.
Desiree says this is she's in Olathe. This is the first time she's seen our show. She said, thank you for stopping by. We love it.
Yeah, thank you.
And yeah, Alexander Perez, it's been way too long. Here in 6 months, it'll be 2 years. I hate seeing cases hit a 2-year mark. Let's go ahead and if you know something, say something. The time is now to go ahead and get this taken care of and get people give people some resolution.
Yeah. Did you want to play that voicemail again, or
let's go ahead and play that voicemail real quick.
All right.
I don't know, man. I'm supposed to be going back early morning to go get some shit and then go get some other stuff down there and bring it back down here, but I don't even know, man. It's been wild down here. It's been crazy. Fucking been held at gunpoint and robbed and tried to beat me up. It's a bunch of crazy shit going on in GC, man.
And that has been sent to the police. Way before we got it, that was sent to the police in KBI.
Yeah.
But all it really says is that on the 6th, he was either alive to record that message, or that's an earlier recording that was sent to him from that device on the 6th. But from what it looks like, he was alive on the 6th and in the Garden City, Kansas area. So if that sparks anybody's memory, we do encourage you to contact the KBI.
Yeah. And don't forget the other thing that I wanted to talk about tonight too is that human trafficking sting that they
go ahead and talk about that. And one real quick, the 1-888-373-7388. If you have seen anything that you might consider human trafficking or a little leery of anybody, definitely call that number. Ricky's going to go ahead and fill you in on what happened this week in the state.
Yeah, this was out of Kansas City. A total of 32 people have been arrested as part of a massive child exploitation investigation across Missouri and Kansas. Authorities with the Department of Homeland Security said 15 of those individuals came from a sting set up in Independence, Kansas, Jackson, Platte, and Clay counties in Missouri, and Bourbon County in Kansas. From May 17th to May 19th, multiple law enforcement agencies in the Wichita area teamed up for Operation Blue Ghost, which netted 17 arrests for crimes like aggravated human trafficking, promoting the sale of sex, purchasing sex acts, and more. Authorities in the Kansas City area banded together from May 31st to June 2nd to arrest an additional 15 individuals. According to a release from the Midwest Division of the Department of Homeland Security, partners in and around Independence, Kansas City, Clay County, and Platte County in Missouri, and in Bourbon County, Kansas, targeted adults willing to travel for the purpose of sexually exploiting a child. Of the 15 arrested in Kansas City area, sting authorities said crimes included intent to engage in illicit sexual conduct, enticement of a minor, sex trafficking of a child, furnishing pornography to minors, sexual exploitation of a minor, promoting prostitution, aggravated human trafficking, sex trafficking, felony assault on a law enforcement officer, attempted statutory sodomy, and attempted second-degree statutory rape. And this is a quote from one of the special agents there, R. Sean Fitzgerald, said, "I'm extremely proud of all the special agents, analysts, and officers whose hard work and dedication made this operation a success. Our joint commitment to protecting children has removed these 32 dangerous individuals from our streets and hopefully sends a clear message to others looking to harm children." So that was a big thing that, like I said, just took place. They just wrapped it up, and 32 arrests, 15 in the Kansas City metro area. Wichita was involved. So, I mean, yeah.
I think it's great. You wish you read about stories like that more often, but it's awesome, obviously, that they're getting stuff done. One thing that I would like to see, because a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this, I'm somebody who typically just reads the headline. So what I see is, oh, well, they got him off the street and all that. But I also know that if I were to Google my neighborhood right now under sex offender, there would be a ton of people living around me and my children right now that are sex offenders that are living out among us, So I hope that, and this has nothing to do with the people that did the sting, the detectives. They don't go to court and tell people how long they got to go to court. I just hope that sex crimes are taking way more serious, where you don't see the light of day again. If you say any of those terrible words that you just said about a grown-up doing to a child, you don't need to be in society. Like, that's enough. Especially when we have people doing longer drug sentences, doing longer jail sentences for like marijuana or something like that, So I just feel like we need to really learn from stuff like this. We see it too much, and we don't see enough of it, actually, because if they just caught this one ring, that's the only one that they caught. There's more. We just need to really buckle down and protect our kids here, and quit giving adults slaps on the wrist when they harm a child. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's Candy. Hey, Candy, how you doing?
Oh yeah, he moved.
Yeah, he's in Dodge City now.
Historical cool. Dodge City, Kansas.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's what I call that place. I love Dodge City. Well, hey, we got a couple of red boxes tonight we're going to talk about, but we're going to go ahead and talk about Dietrich Foster. Again, the red box is anytime there is a cash reward for information leading to an arrest. So, yeah, Ricky, go ahead and tell everybody about Dietrich here.
Okay. Well, Dietrich's missing from Independence, Kansas since April 12th of 2020. He was 37 when he went missing. He's now 39. He's 5'9" tall, weighs 190 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. He was reported missing on May 12th of 2020. He was last seen around April 12th of 2020 in Independence. KBI agents and detectives from the Independence Police Department are conducting his case as a homicide based upon the findings during the investigation into his disappearance. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he was 37. He's now 39. He's 5'9", weighs 190 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Dietrich's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Independence, Kansas Police Department at 620-332-1700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And there is a governor's reward of $5,000 for information leading to the arrest or conviction of those responsible for the disappearance and suspected murder of Dietrich Foster. So if anybody has any information, and I know I say this a lot, but no matter how small that little piece of information may be, it just might be that little piece that the investigators need to help get them going in the right direction.
That's not a joke at all, man. You never know.
Yeah.
You might just be like, well, somebody said this, but how could it matter? But there's probably some detective out there right now that's like, what did you just say? Because it's like that's that missing piece.
Yeah.
And there's 5,000 reasons to say something if you're motivated by cash. 5,000 reasons. There's obviously anonymous ways to report things. So yeah, enough's enough. April 12th, 2020 was a rough day for the Foster family, and let's go ahead and get some closure to this. Let's get some. Let's bring Dietrich home.
Yeah.
And two, let's get some answers on this. This has just been going on for way too long.
Yeah, way too long.
And again, that bottom left picture is the most recent picture of Dietrich.
The white shirt and tie there. Yeah, they just recently released that April 12th of this year. So that's a new picture, a newer picture.
It's terrible. Tell us about Heaven Kaler. I went ahead and left her. She hasn't been. I mean, we covered her last week. I don't think she's been found. But this has been going on for quite some time.
I haven't heard a word on her, and no, for that matter, nobody's heard a word on Heaven. And I don't mind covering her again, because we got to get these bushes rattled and get some information going. Because it's just, she's been missing from Fort Scott, Kansas, since June 24th of 2021. So it's been quite some time, almost a year. She's 17. She's 5'7" to 5'10", weighs between 130 and 140 pounds. She has dirty blonde hair and blue eyes. And basically that's all we know right now. And if anybody has any information regarding Heaven's disappearance, or you have some kind of an idea of where she's at, please call the Fort Scott, Kansas Police Department at 620-223-1700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get her located and back to where she needs to be. Because almost a year, no leads, no tips, no nothing. We got to get something going on. And if you have information and you don't feel comfortable giving it to the police department, you can private message Kansas Missing and Unsolved and give it to me, and I'll pass it on and keep you anonymous.
Yeah,
I've already done it twice this week. So
you can go to kmupod.com as well, and there's a way to upload information there as well.
Yeah, I've already done it twice on 2 other cases this week already. So,
got to get that information out there. Let me see.
So yeah, I do more than just make flyers and update flyers. If I get information sent to me and they don't mind me passing it on and ask me to keep them anonymous, I will do that. And I have done it, like I said, twice already this week. So I don't have an issue doing that.
We are open for discussion at all times. Again, go to kmupod.com if you want to do it anonymously. You can just send us a message. All you have to do is go to the contact us page, and that'll be on there. Let's talk about Dana Jane Bruce. We've covered her pretty much every week for quite a while, but we want to make sure that we keep her name out there.
Yeah. Yep, she's missing from Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th of 2008. She was 23 when she went missing. She'll now be 36. She's 5'2" tall, 98 pounds. She has brown hair and green or hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia. She'd left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned about midnight and gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. Dana was seen at Malone's Bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier on the night of her disappearance. She left with the man at 11:30. Police have identified the man that Dana was with on the night she disappeared. He traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and police questioned him about Dana after he was arrested there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. They have not publicly named him, but they are calling him a person of interest. He told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar, and he never saw her after that. She left all her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush. She doesn't have any credit cards, debit cards, checking account, cell phone, or a car. Again, she was 23 when she went missing. She'll now be 36. She's 5'2", weighs 98 pounds. She has brown hair that was colored brown at the roots and black at the ends with red highlights and green or hazel eyes. She was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel and silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. Dana has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She's blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced 1 time each. And if anybody has any information at all regarding Dana's disappearance, or you know where she may be, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100, or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178, or their toll-free number 866-362-6422, and see if we cannot get her located and back home with her family where she needs to be. As again, 14 years, quite a long time. Very long time.
And there's Ellen. Thank you guys.
Yep.
It means a lot to me and her family. We miss her a lot and want her back home. 13 years is too long to be missing.
Yeah, definitely too long. And you're very welcome, Ellen. You're very, very welcome. And her and I periodically, we'll message back and forth from time to time and talk about it, a little bit. And she assures me that we're doing some good by covering her every week. So,
right. Well, let's talk about our buddy Kenny Wright check. Again, this is one that this is probably right around the time that I met you when we started doing the live stream. Kenny had just recently gone missing. I met you right at the beginning of 2020. But let's go ahead and talk about Kenny.
Yep, he was missing from here in Salina, Kansas on November 4th, 2019. Good gravy. He sometimes uses the last name Brown. He does suffer from diminished mental health capabilities and is on disability, but he has not tried to access any of the funds since he was last seen. He may have family in northwest Kansas, possibly around the Colby area. He was last seen at the Gospel Mission in Salina, and he left there and hasn't been seen or heard from since. He does not have a cell phone, vehicle, or any identification. His main mode of transportation was a bicycle, and he, rode his bicycle or pushed it around town, picking up extra scrap metal to take over to scrapyard and sell for extra cash. Again, at the time of his disappearance, Kenny was 69. He's now 71. He's 5'9", weighs about 175 pounds. He has gray hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Kenny's disappearance or his whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Kenny located and back home where he needs to be. I know there's a lot of people that ask every week, have we heard anything? Have we heard anything? Anything new? Nothing at all. It's been dead quiet, nothing. Nothing. Right. No updates from the police department, nothing in the media, nothing.
So, I think we're the only ones covering it, man.
I think so. I think we're the only ones that are keeping him out there.
And again, I want to find out if those checks are being cashed.
That is a good question. I have never heard anything said about that one way or the other, so I do not know. It'd be interesting to know, though. It really would. That would be. Are they just building up? Have they stopped because they haven't been cashed? Or
I would like to know if they're being cashed. Real quick shout out to Reddit. We have Minding the Moon. They said this is the first time I've seen something like this here. Love this idea. Thank you. Thank you for watching.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Awesome. We really
share us around Reddit.
Yeah, tell your friends. You can use, especially because I don't really know how Reddit works.
I don't either. I'm not all versed with it.
But I just go to this Distancing Socially, I think is what it's called. And we seem to we meet a lot of cool people along the way. But yeah, if anybody has any suggestions on how we can get these flyers seen by more people, we're all ears for sure. Let's talk about Bertha.
Okay. This is one that's just I did last night, actually. She's missing from Wichita. Let me take a peek real quick to see if there's any updates on her real quick before I get started. Last update that I saw prior to me looking right now was they had actually upgraded her from just missing to a silver alert.
So
And they're posting. Oh, okay. They updated that she's been found safe. So
okay,
Ricky's
well,
been
we'll get her
located
off the
safe.
stage.
So yeah, that's good to hear. I'm glad I'll have to update her flyer after the show tonight.
Way to go.
And I'm gonna go ahead and write found safe next to her on my little notes here.
I'll delete her from the show.
Cool. I'm glad she was found safe. That's great.
Well, that was quick, Rick. No, I'm just kidding. We put her
No, I'm
picture up
glad
there
she
and they
was.
found her. We're good.
And Crystal saying, "Good evening, guys. Sorry I'm late." You're fine, Crystal. Glad you made it though.
Yeah. Well, we don't like to get too far into the show before we play a few things. You're watching the KME podcast. We'll be right back after this.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a suicidal crisis or emotional distress, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255.
Roxanne is saying, Ricky and Derek work really hard. We can all help by sharing the podcast and sharing flyers so we can help find these people and answers for all families. Thank you, Roxanne. Appreciate that. Yeah, we'd greatly appreciate every share of every flyer or podcast. You know, it all helps. The more eyes and ears that hear and see these things, the better chances of getting them found and back to where they need to be.
And just a quick heads up, 2 weeks ago, whenever Facebook was sharing our show through Facebook podcast, we were averaging about 500 downloads an episode on our audio podcast.
Mm-hmm.
In the 2 weeks since, when Facebook has done away with Facebook podcasts, we're down to about 100 listens an episode. So we took a tremendous hit. So if you are somebody who was listening to our podcast on the Facebook app that no longer exists, we're everywhere. You can find us everywhere. But go ahead and talk about Blake Hoover a little bit.
Okay. Well, we've covered him in the past, and he was located. Now he's missing again. He's missing from Pittsburg, Kansas since May 31st of 2022. He's 17, 6'3", weighs 180 pounds, has blonde hair and green eyes. And if anybody has any information regarding Blake's disappearance or you know where he might be, please call the Pittsburg, Kansas Police Department at 620-231-1700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get him located and back to where he needs to be. I know he's getting pretty close to being 18, so
right.
Yeah.
You're almost there, Blake.
Yeah, almost there. Go ahead, Derek. What you're gonna say?
Yeah, I'm just saying you're almost there. You know, go ahead and again, obviously, Blake, if there's a situation that you're leaving because it's dangerous, and that's a different story. We obviously don't want you going back into a dangerous situation.
Right.
In those situations, you can go to kmepod.com and there's a resources page. Those are people that we believe in that can help get you to the right place. If you want to talk to somebody from our team, we can get you in contact with one of the detectives we work with, as far as people who give us cases. But you're almost 18, man. You got the really are just getting started. 18 is the beginning. You know, like now it's your turn to have the keys and do whatever you want. So hopefully Blake's out there somewhere safe, and hopefully Blake finds peace, and hopefully Blake can get back to where he needs to be. Missing the Moon says we should post on some of the subreddits to let people know that we have a live stream. That's a great idea. And then Big B84 says that's a good idea. Now that the Big B84, they have actually watched before, so that's awesome. I think that's our first person returning to watch on Reddit, so that's really cool.
That's cool. I'm glad to hear that. Hopefully it'll pick up.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Brian here. Looks like been missing for a year tomorrow.
Yeah, year tomorrow. That was one that actually somebody had posted in the Kansas Missing and Unsolved group, not on the page, but in the group. And I saw it and I was like, okay, we'll get a flyer up and going for Brian and see what we can do. He's missing from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is not a state. Since June 8th of 2021, he was 38 when he went missing. He's now 39, 6 foot tall, weighs between 240 and 300 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. He was last known to be in Milwaukee. He lives a transient lifestyle and has traveled through the Northwest, including Great Falls, Montana, where he has some family. There was a possible sighting of Brian in Wichita on January 12th of this year. At the time of his disappearance, Brian was 38 and he's now 39. 6 foot tall, weighs between 240 and 300 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Brian's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Great Falls, Montana Police Department at 406-727-7688 and let them know, if you see Brian down there in Wichita somewhere, call him and let him know so they can, hopefully track him down and make sure he's all right.
My kids just asked me if we can go swimming. I'm like, hey, buddy, come back in 10 minutes. They fixed the light in our pool so you can swim at night now. So they're excited about that.
They're still filling ours. So, see, Julie Schonenberger says hello from Wichita. Kelsey Youngblood says hello, guys. And Donda says hello, guys, from YouTube.
Nice.
And I saw Trisha's on YouTube. So, hey, Trisha. So, thank you guys for holding down the YouTube fort.
Well, I hope Brian, that's a year tomorrow, so that's kind of scary. Adults usually have things they got to do, places they got to be, appointments to keep. So that's scary, but he's a big dude, he's 6 foot, 240 to 300.
Yeah. That's pretty big.
He reminds me of me, he's my age. And, I just know that if I were unaccounted for a year, that the people in my life would be pretty worried. That'd be a pretty big, significant, loss. So I just hope that there's some resolution on this.
Yeah. I hope so too.
Yeah. How do you pronounce this? Furious?
I don't know if it's. I'm thinking Farious, maybe.
Farious Kane Crisp.
Farious Kane Crisp. And that's the one that I actually spoke with his mom, and she is just worried like crazy about him. She's mad. Yeah, it's crazy. But he's missing from Kansas City, Missouri since June 2nd of 2022. He's 17. He's 5'10", 175 pounds, has brown hair with blonde tips. You can see in the pictures there. And hazel eyes. And it's believed that he is with 2 adult females. And mom believes they're hiding him. But anyway, he's 17, 5'10", weighs 175 pounds, has brown hair with blonde tips and hazel eyes. He was known to be wearing a gray or pink t-shirt, a Nike jacket with the body of the jacket being white and the arms being red, blue, and yellow, and gray sweatpants. And if you have any information regarding Farious's disappearance or of his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department at 816-234-5530 or 816-234-5220 or 816-234-5111 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol Missing Persons Unit at 573-526-6178. Or toll free at 866-362-6422 and see if we can help get Farious located and back home where he needs to be. And hopefully he's okay where he's at, but he still needs to be home and not being hidden by 2 adult females if that's the case.
Right. His hair is pretty awesome. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. That's
I couldn't pull it off.
I had curly hair when I was younger, and it's gone now. Like I just have like boring hair now. But no,
it's a cool hairstyle. That is cool.
He does, man. It's like, man, that looks really cool. Like that's really cool. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully, again, almost 18. Just go home, finish it out. When you're 18, do what you got to do. But I agree with Ricky. Like if you have adults that are trying to, harbor you, which is illegal. They might not be the most trustworthy people. Again, unless you're like in a sketchy situation, you got to get away from. But I mean, at the end of the day, being unaccounted for is not the smartest idea. You got a lot of responsibilities ahead of you. So let's go ahead and let somebody know you're okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Kelly Knight's from Overland Park.
Yep. Hey, Kelly.
Nice.
And Desiree Jones Smith says hi. Hello, Desiree. Thank you for joining us.
And then Minding the Moon says unsolved mystery, our Reddit unsolved mysteries, cold cases, or missing persons would probably be good places to find interested people. Awesome.
Cool.
Well, one of our producers is watching in Reddit, so they are writing all this stuff down. We're going to utilize that advice for sure. Thank you so much.
All right.
Because we only have one case left, and we're only at 35 minutes.
Yeah, pretty light load tonight.
Yeah, it's probably good though, man. I slept all day. I feel fine, but I took a COVID test yesterday because I was going to go to work, and because I felt fine, just a few slight effects, and so I took another COVID test, and it did say positive still. So I haven't gone to work the last 2 days. I'm just waiting until it's completely gone. Everybody else that in the house is testing negative, but I was the last one to get sick. So
Yeah, Crystal, we covered Heaven Kaler a little bit earlier in the show, but we did cover her again.
we can actually just put her picture on the screen here for a minute for you, Crystal.
Yeah, missing from Fort Scott, Kansas since June 24th of 2021. She's 17, 5'7" to 5'10", weighs 130 to 140 pounds, dirty blonde hair and blue eyes. Anybody knows anything regarding Heaven at all, again, call Fort Scott, Kansas Police Department at 620-223-1700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. We've got to get her found. It's just been too long with no word, no tip, no nothing. It's been too long. I mean, we hope and pray she's safe wherever she's at, but
right.
With nothing coming out, no nothing, it's hard to stay positive with that. But hopefully she's okay where she is, but she just needs to let somebody know so she can be brought back to where she needs to be.
We're just shy of 2 weeks away from being a year.
Yeah.
That's not good. I hate when we hit a year mark.
No, I know.
Thank you, Christopher. He says feel better.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this one. We got Virginia Anderson from Galesburg, Illinois.
All
Illinois.
Right. Hey, Virginia. Thanks for joining us from Illinois.
I interviewed one of my favorite musicians from Champaign, Illinois, and I was living in Raleigh where Brandon is. And I was probably the thickest my Southern accent ever got, living there for a decade. And I was like, so what's it like living in Illinois? And he about left the show. He's like, it is not Illinois. Please, sir. So I still have trouble pronouncing it, but it's he's like Illinois.
I've got some family on my dad's side that I've never met that lives in Springfield, Illinois. I need to get over there and start meeting these people before they pass away.
Yeah. Well, you have this studio, man. You have our little virtual studio. Start sending links out, having little family reunions, man.
That's a good idea.
Let's get Terry in here.
That's a good idea.
Well, hey, we have our last case here. This one was kind of hard to fit into one. I might be missing one tattoo photo, but this was probably our most involved flyer. The only reason they're lopsided like that is because we only make our flyers based on what the family send us. Right. So it looks like maybe either a detective or a family member sent us pretty much everything but the kitchen sink on Mark. But go ahead and go over this.
Yeah, Mark Randall Fullerton. He's missing from Braggadocio, Missouri. I've never heard of that one. Missing since June 3rd of 2020. He's 35 when he went missing. He's now 37. He's 5'11", 150 pounds, has brown hair and blue eyes. Mark's girlfriend stated he unexpectedly walked away from her residence while she was in the bathroom, and she thought he might be headed to his grandfather's house 2 miles away. If so, he never arrived there. He has never been heard from again. He left behind all of his belongings, including his truck, his wallet, his keys, his dentures, his hat, his jewelry, his phone, and glasses. His cross necklace, which he has never removed, was found broken on the floor of his girlfriend's home. He left wearing only his black shorts. And prior to his disappearance, he said he'd planned to end the relationship with his girlfriend. It's uncharacteristic of him to be out of touch with his family, especially his 2 sons. All of Mark's teeth have been extracted. He had a full set of dentures, but wasn't wearing them when he disappeared. As I mentioned earlier, they were left behind. His ears are pierced, and he has a scar on his knuckles of his right hand. He has extensive black and gray tattoos, including the name Mark in Old English script on his abdomen, just above the navel. Full sleeves of skull-themed designs on both arms, and the names Aiden and Kate across his upper chest, just below the collarbone. He had a goatee at the time of his disappearance. He wore glasses, but left those behind as well. If you have any information regarding Mark's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Pemiscot County, Missouri Sheriff's Office. I hope I said that right. At 573-333-4101 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol Missing Persons Unit at 573-526-6178 or their toll-free number 866-362-6422. And there is a $20,000 reward being offered for information leading to the location of Mark Fullerton or the arrest and conviction of anyone responsible for his disappearance. So there was our other red box that he was referring to earlier tonight. So see if we can help get Mark located and back home where he needs to be. Found it interesting that he left only wearing his black shorts, and that was it. Braggadocio's in the Missouri boot heel. Okay. Thank you, Rhonda. Appreciate that. And Crystal Walden's asking any updates on Trinity Schlegel. Not that I have heard of. The only thing last thing I heard was there was a possible sighting over in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. That was the last thing I'd heard about.
Wow. Well, let's go ahead and we have some videos that our producer Brandon had made. We're going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about Alex LaRussa, and we're going to have a little private chat in our private chat and see what we want to do with this 20 minutes here. But you're watching KMU Pod. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, this is Brandon with the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast, and today I want to talk about Alex LaRussa, one of our outstanding cases. He went missing on December 8th of 2017. He was 25 at the time he went missing. He would now be 29 years old. The last contact with family Alex had was at 4 a.m. on December 8th. Alex is wheelchair bound as his left leg is amputated above the knee. At the time of his disappearance, Alex was 25 years old. He would now be 29 years old. He's 6'2", weighs 175 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. Alex has a tattoo on the left side of his neck that says pain. If you have any information regarding Alex's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or call Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477 and let's work to try and get Alex back home.
Yeah, but that's another Salina case that has really, bothered me over the last several years since he's come up missing too. And I mean, they did find his vehicle abandoned just outside to the northeast of Salina. Had his belongings inside of it, including his wheelchair and stuff. So that's very concerning.
Rhonda Booth Kirk says Braggadocio is in the Missouri boot heel.
Yeah. We want to. We can cover Trinity Schlegel.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah,
Missouri is really pretty.
Yeah,
I think so.
Do you still have the flyer for Trinity Schlegel on your computer there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So I pulled her flyer while we were doing the LaRussa.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. All right. Trinity Schlegel is missing from Greenwood County, Kansas since April 12th of 2022. She's 16. She's 5'8", weighs 120 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. And it's believed she may be in the Greenwood County, Kansas area, or she may be in Colorado or possibly Joplin. And of course, so the latest update was that I think it was this past weekend or the weekend before, she had been seen in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. It's not known if she's still there, but I believe that she may have been there. So if you're in Bartlesville, keep your eyes open. Again, she's 16. She's 5'8", weighs 120 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Trinity's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Greenwood County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-583-5568 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get her located and back to where she needs to be. It's been, a few months now. And Crystal, you're very welcome. Got to keep these faces out there to get them found.
Yeah.
And we definitely want to do that. And do you guys have any case suggestions for us to cover? We can either pull real quick or we can cover them next week or something along those lines. So if there's any you're wanting to hear or see for next week, let us know.
Yeah. I actually have a banner for that I'd like to play. Let me see.
And Krista says, yes, sir, we appreciate you. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
There we go. because we used to put that out every week.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just been so hectic and busy in the state of Kansas. We haven't really had to ask for people to send us cases.
Right. When I did Mark Fullerton's flyer, I sent it to the Find Mark Fullerton Facebook page and let them know that I had made that. And I was messaging with somebody from there, and actually got a compliment that told me that my flyer making skills were excellent. So appreciate that compliment.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, your flyers are tops, buddy. Double T says not backstage, but here had a rough evening at work.
You have to fill me in on that one later, bro.
Yeah, we'll pull Maria Pascal for next week. We actually covered her last week.
Yeah, we did. Maria Pascal. Yeah, Pascal.
Ricky will write that down.
I'm writing her down right now. If I could just learn how to spell, I'd be grateful. I'm trying my hands working faster than my brain can keep up with it.
Rhonda, it's a long story. So basically, our podcast is on Ricky's nights off. So it's on 9:00 tonight because he's off tonight on Tuesday. Yeah. Next week, the podcast will be at 9 p.m. on Thursday. But it's kind of easy to remember. So basically, this week it's Tuesday. Next week it's Thursday, and it's always going to be the opposite night every week. So So we were actually live this last Thursday, so it hasn't been that long, and that's probably why we don't have very many cases because we just did a show. Okay. But our next show,
it says you guys do amazing work. It is so important. Are you any kin to Tanya Knight that's missing over by Kansas City?
Yeah. Let me see over here. Okay. All right. Greetings from Kansas, Big Bear, 2G, Kate 19, Big Bear from Kansas, also Greetings from Kansas City, also former Kansan. And then they said, Are you guys talking about Emily? Jess Ku MMK said, Are you guys talking about EM?
Oh, excuse me. Tony, that was an unsolved homicide, not a missing person. My mistake. I apologize. What was it again?
I can't decipher it. I think somebody. I don't know.
Was that on Reddit or?
Yeah, it was on Reddit. I don't really kind of.
Oh, okay. I don't know who Emily maybe would be. Roxanne saying
Go
there
ahead
was a bust
and pull Maria Pascal.
Okay. Roxanne saying that there was a bust in Texas close to the border. 7 children being tracked of it. 14 adults were arrested. Ages of the kids were 7 to 18. Holy crap. If you have any links on that, Roxanne, message that to me. I'd like to dig into that one. Pull Maria Pascal.
Yeah.
And that's legit her name. I did some checking on that. It's actually Maria Pascal. Because when I was asked to make the flyer, I said, Is that right? And they're like, Yeah, that's right. I'm like, okay. I just want to make sure.
Right. Yeah, it's not super uncommon. I've seen I've seen people with the same last name twice.
Right. Yeah, she's missing from Wichita, Kansas since November 29, 2021. She's 17. She's 4'11", weighs 160 pounds, has black hair, brown eyes. And it's believed she may either be in the Coffeyville, Kansas area or Georgia or Florida, or she may be trying to get to Guatemala. And she's 17 years old, and she is 4'11", weighs 160 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Maria's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9452 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Maria located and back to where she needs to be, because there again, it's been a little more than 6 months, so need to get her found back to where she needs to be.
And we are going to say goodbye to Reddit. And
no, not Reddit. No, I'm kidding.
But we'll be back next the Thursday of next week, Reddit. So definitely, and while me and Brandon are going to try to figure out how to tell more people on the Reddit side of things when we're going to do that. But thanks for hanging out tonight, and we will talk to you next week. And then, Yeah, I mean, we pretty much have covered everybody. I don't see anybody calling anybody else out, but
Yeah, not yet. Crystal said she likes that we went back to Tuesdays, Thursdays. Thank you,
Yeah.
Crystal. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The only thing that I don't know, I'm not a fan of is, between Thursday and Tuesday, it's a short turnaround, but between the Tuesday back to the next Thursday, it's a longer turnaround. So that following Thursday usually winds up being considerably longer show,
yeah,
but that's okay. I just wish it was a little bit more balanced, but that's okay. We work with what we've got, and that's fine. As long as we're here, that's all that matters. As long as we're here, as long as we're covering them, that's all that matters. Anything to add to that, Derek?
I just finished my diet Mountain Dew, so
Do we
due
want to
for
bring
another one.
You want to bring Brandon on to say hey to everybody real quick?
Yeah, man, he's cute.
There he is, the man behind the everything, keeping everything flowing smooth back there.
We can't show Reddit, Brandon. No, he's our ace in the hole.
And Rhonda's
That's for
saying,
sweep.
thank you for keeping
Well, they
these
see me
cases out there.
backstage the way you share it. They see me just chilling backstage, so it works out. It's all good. I'm actually glad we're getting some more Reddit viewers, and our YouTube viewers are coming in more. I've noticed that too. So thanks Trisha for holding that down.
Yeah.
But
And Rhonda's saying, thank you for keeping these cases out there. You're doing a great job. Thank you, Rhonda. I appreciate that.
hey, Christopher.
Yeah. You're saying, hey, Brandon.
Yeah, we'll get
Do
another
I see
look
Brandon
at
and
it,
Derek wearing matching glasses? Yeah, it sure looks like they're wearing matching
Yeah, it
glasses.
looks like we are. I just got me a new fresh set. I had to come in here looking like Derek.
Mine
like
are
the oddball out.
mine are like real bad shape.
Tell
They're
me.
like
Derek
not
looks
so
like
red
that.
anymore on the sides. They're like white because of all the touching them and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're welcome. Christopher says, thank you, Ricky and Derek, for all you guys do to bring people home safe. And Trisha says, I always share. Thank you, Trisha. Greatly appreciate
Which
it.
is awesome.
I had a little goof up with I was trying to minimize. Trisha had messaged me something. I was trying to minimize her window and accidentally hit the freaking call thing on there instead of hitting the minimize. We had a good laugh over that one.
I've done that before.
Makes me so aggravated. It's like, dang it. Well, that being said, let's go ahead and close our prayer that we usually do. Say, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight to cover these cases and hopefully help bring some people home. And we didn't really cover any unsolved homicides, but the ones we've covered, hopefully those cases have reached the right ears and the right hearts, and they're going to do the right thing and call those tips in on those cases too. And until we meet again next Thursday, keep everybody safe and healthy, and we'll see everybody back here then. Until then, amen and good night.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a suicidal crisis or emotional distress, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255.